Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-month check-in for January 2024. Thank you as always to everyone who watches, likes, shares, comments on the videos and subscribes to the channel. If you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. So if you're familiar with the channel or you follow the channel, you might have noticed some changes in the schedule of how I've been putting the videos out recently. It's just because I've had to kind of adapt things to make sure that I've got a good balance in doing the readings and just everything else that I've got to do in my life as well. So let's get into your reading. These are from the Oracle decks I'll be using for the reading today. We're going to start off with a message from the African Goddess Rising deck, first of all. Messages are for Sagittarius, if I can speak, Sun, Moon and Rising. And this is going to be like your main theme. So what do we need to know for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising for the January mid-month check-in? You've got two there. So you have, oh Lord, okay. You have Mummy Water, Naked. And you have Katesh, Sacred Lust. I'm only saying it like that because I just got this one in, whose reading was it? Libra's reading. I believe it was Libra's reading, and yes, there was a sexual energy with it, although there were other messages as well. And at the end of the reading we got a card from the deck that was basically about aphrodisiacs. So if your Sun, Moon or Rising is Libra, in addition to your Sun, Moon or Rising being Sagittarius, you might want to watch that one, because I am potentially getting something about intimacy and vulnerability with the Mummy Water and the Katesh message. So it could be a relationship issue for someone here, in terms of intimacy and kind of opening up and showing who you really are. But let's continue before I sort of jump to assumptions on things. So let's get your tarot cards out first of all, and then I'll read those messages from the book. So for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising, what do we need to know about the main theme? That was really quick, so bear with me, and I do trust it. We have, God, can I do this without ripping the mic off? We've got the Page of Pentacles. I mean, I don't think I'd call the Page of Wands the most vulnerable. I feel like the Page of Cups is like the most vulnerable card potentially in the deck. However, if there is something about exploration here and opening up, yeah, that matches that energy. So, and there's a bit of a newbie energy as well. There is a bit of a newbie energy. I'm going to try not to make assumptions until I've got the tarot cards out, because stuff is coming in, but I don't want to sort of jump to conclusions. So let's look at the past energy. No, that's too many. That is too many. We'll try that again. Try it again. That doesn't feel right. It's weird. Okay. Nope, still getting a no. Sorry about that, Sagittarius, but if I'm getting a no, I'm getting a no. Right, past energy. Okay, yeah. Two of Wands. Right, current, present energy. Yeah. We have, whatever this card is, I feel like it needs to be upright. Right, Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. And potential future energy. Justice. Okay, that does make sense to me. So yeah, there could be a relationship issue here for someone. Again, I'll just repeat what I've already said about opening up. I did say there's a newbie energy, so for someone there could be a new relationship, or they could be exploring something new within a relationship possibly. There could be something here for someone where they're I don't really want to jump to conclusions, but the thought is in my mind. You know, if there's selfishness in a relationship and one person's quite a taker, the other one's a giver, and the taker hasn't expressed how they feel and what they want to have their needs met. There may be a need to open up and express that, but let me stop jumping to conclusions and we'll clarify. Let's get the messages first. So I think, I can't remember which one came out first. We'll look at Katesh first. So Katesh is the goddess of sacred lust. She's fire energy. Katesh, the mistress of the gods, is the Egyptian goddess of sacred sexuality, ecstasy, and fertility. Her two men, yes, two men, are the fertility god Min and Mantu, the god of war. Katesh's guidance says you are an erotic creature. You have a divine right to experience sensual ecstasy. It is sacred to give and receive pleasure. The embodiment says you deserve to feel good. It feels good to feel good, so allow yourself to feel good. Lean into your sacred lust. Turn up your own fire and quench your thirst. Dance with pleasure. You daring to embrace your sensuality will set the world on fire. And the declaration says it feels good to feel good. So let's look at Mami Wata. She's the goddess of emotional nakedness. So yeah, that is intimacy, vulnerability. And it's water energy. So it says, Mami Wata and her sisters live in the Ikpoba River in Benin City, Nigeria. But the ancient mermaid goddess is her own global pantheon. Mami Wata influences emotions and gives her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Mami Wata's guidance says, hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. And the embodiment says being emotionally naked means being vulnerable enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. Practice being transparent. Start with the people closest to you. Say, I haven't been showing the whole me, but I'm starting today. Have the courage to feel and express your feelings without people-pleasing. Speak your truth, share your story, cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others. Become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable and making others uncomfortable. The goddess declaration says, I have the courage to be vulnerable. So, God, there's a couple of things coming in here. There's different things coming in here, to be honest. The one thing that stood out for me here was where it said, cultivate an appreciation for vulnerability in others, because that Five of Swords being there, the Knight of Pentacles being there, one of the ways that I see this is it's where we can get too tough, to be honest, have a hardened exterior. So the Five of Swords is that it's just a tough energy, isn't it? I mean, I know typically it's about conflict and that sort of thing and a lose-lose situation, which it is a lose-lose situation. If you're not being your real self and you just have a tough exterior, it's pretty much, it might seem like a win if you one-up people, if you're able to have that one-upmanship, but it's not really, is it, deep down? So you've got the Five of Swords, it's that tough exterior, but then with the Knight of Pentacles, that's that overly practical thing as well. So it's a completely dismissive of fire and water energy, isn't it? Because you're just trying to be logical and practical. So that's the way of looking at that. And there is a need to kind of, as I say, I don't really usually see the Page of Wands as particularly vulnerable, but here with these energies, it kind of feels like it is, but vulnerable. And I don't mean weak. Vulnerability isn't weak anyway, but vulnerable in terms of showing who you are and being yourself, and emotionally open as well. I like the combination of these two cards. And yes, for some it could be sexual, but aside from sexuality, related intimacy, it's just about being yourself and showing who you really are and admitting what you really want, isn't it? And respecting that in other people as well. So yeah, let's get the clarifiers out and see what happens. So Page of Wands as the first card. Usually with the Justice card out, it's usually, for me, it's just that the viewer, whoever's watching, it means things being fair for them. But I feel like with this energy, it's about things being as fair as possible for everyone involved. That's what I'm getting from that Justice card. Anyway, Page of Wands, what do we need to know about that? So you've got the Five of Cups in reverse. You've got the Six of Pentacles. And you've got the Three of Cups, yeah. There's very much something about balance in terms of give and take, which it said here, and I think I pretty much mentioned, I started talking about givers and takers section. Well, was it sexually? I don't know. It was probably in relationships at the beginning. But this Five of Cups to me almost felt like, it felt a little bit like a fear of being vulnerable, to be honest, that Five of Cups did. I know that's a weird way of looking at it, but you know, like if someone's been through a lot of stuff in life and they get to the point where they just don't want to be vulnerable at all because they just feel like it's a weakness. It's giving that kind of energy. But it's sort of like if you want people to respect your vulnerability, you have to respect theirs as well. That is part of a message that's coming through. What else am I getting here as well? So it's definitely something about you, the viewer, needing to show a more vulnerable side in terms of your emotions and being yourself as well. For some, if it's a funny one, this is. So yeah, there's the element of respecting other people's being open enough to show your vulnerability and respecting others as well, because then you get more reciprocal relationships, don't you, with that Three of Cups being there. What was the other message I was getting? It's gone. It's gone. I need to say things straight away because they go really quickly. I think that's just the main thing. A balance in give and take in terms of vulnerability. Let me just have a look at that Five of Cups. There was another message coming in and I can't really think of what it is. I think the key point is that just you, yourself, being more vulnerable, regardless of what your history is. So Five of Cups. I think it was still just about restraining vulnerability and being open to giving and receiving it. I can't really see anything other than that now that I've said that. And as I say, it can be sexually, it can be in just platonic relationships, it can be in terms of what you want in life. But let's have a look at that Five of Cups to see if there's anything specific here. I feel like that's a need to heal. To heal and change in your past where you haven't been able, where you felt you haven't been allowed to be vulnerable, or you've sort of been told you've just got to get over things. That has to kind of, you have to heal from that stuff, but use that to go forward as well, and sort of acknowledge that, no, it's not weak to be vulnerable. And it's not selfish either to be vulnerable in terms of expressing what you want, what your needs are too. And you deserve it. You deserve it as well. You deserve to be able to express what your needs are and have them met. I mean, obviously not everybody can meet your needs and the whole world doesn't revolve around you, but you deserve to have the chance to share what you need to be happy, and to feel secure. So I'll leave that there and let's move on and see what else we can gather from these cards. But yeah, definitely, I don't know, that big thing about being vulnerable, but like in a reciprocal way as well, where respect other people's vulnerability. So I don't know if that's just for one specific person, if you've been kind of a bit tough on people, where maybe you may feel like it's tough love, but it's kind of just shitting on them a little bit, to put it bluntly. Like you may not have intended to shit on them, but you know, and I think a lot of us do this. Even I've done this, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I've been told that my words can cut like a knife sometimes, and I've got zero intention of trying to hurt people's feelings, but it happens. Where it's me sort of thinking, I again thinking that, I don't know if it's tough love for me because I don't really, yeah. But yeah, where you sort of tell someone something that you think is helpful, but really it's that they're quite vulnerable and that is not what they needed. It wasn't helpful. It was just something that made them feel worse potentially. And then what can come into that is when people make mistakes. I think I spoke about this in one of the other readings I've done, that whole told you so kind of energy. I said that it's not helpful. Nobody needs to have someone say, I told you so. If you've made a mistake, even if you've been warned about the mistake, you know, just general day-to-day life stuff, because obviously situations vary, but who needs to have someone say, oh, I told you so, if they warned you and you fucked up? You don't need that. I mean, you're the one that's got to live with the mistake. They don't have to live with it. You have to live with the disappointment, the hurt, embarrassment even of making the mistake. You're the one that has to heal from it. And people saying I told you so doesn't help you to heal, does it? It dehumanizes you. I think I said that in the other reading as well. It dehumanizes you. We're human. We're allowed to make mistakes. It's part of being human. You know, Obviously, it does become annoying when it's a repetitive mistake, but still, it's our mistakes to make. I think I said it in Capricorn's reading, actually. But anyway, let's move on from this. So Two of Wands. I don't know why I'm going on that trip, but yeah, Two of Wands. So hopefully you don't, it would be nice if we didn't have to listen to someone tell I told you so, and hopefully we wouldn't want to do that to someone else as well, because as I say, it's not nice to have someone say that to us, so why would we want to do that to someone else? But anyway, Two of Wands, because that's just judgmental, isn't it, really? I think it's just judgment. Right, we've got Justice. Six of Cups in reverse. Well, I'm actually clarifying the Two of Wands, and we've got the Four of Cups, and we've got the Death card. That is a confusing bunch of cards, actually, I'll be honest with you. Right, I'm going to look at the Six of Cups in reverse. Okay, actually, I don't know if I need to. With that Two of Wands there, one element of that is, say if you have two choices in front of you, whatever this involves, there's a strong desire to not fuck up and make the wrong choice, to put it bluntly. It is a past energy, but it's one of wanting to learn, probably learn from past mistakes and do things differently and not make the same mistake again. But sometimes there can be fear around that, can't it? And it can get to a point where it's paralyzing, where you don't want to make a decision because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to mess up like I did before. That type of thing. I will look up the Six of Cups, but let's see. So there may have been a decision that you've had to make in the past, whether it was recent past, long ago, where you just really didn't want to make a mistake in your choice, did you? So Six of Cups, the Lovers. What else is coming after that? One more for the Six of Cups. You have the Tower here. Yeah, it still speaks of just wanting to make sure that you've learned from past experiences to make the right choice now. Well, in the past, that's something you've acknowledged, that you don't want to make the wrong choice, you want to make the right choice. Let's have a look at, you don't want to be disappointed, do you? So again, there was that thing where you can become, like analysis paralysis and being stuck making a decision because you don't want to make the wrong choice. That can be that Four of Cups energy. Let's look at the Death card. And I mean, Justice is obviously, it's about doing the right thing, isn't it? Maybe you are someone who's made the wrong, or you feel that you've made the wrong choice in relationships, because that was a strong energy, wasn't it, that came up. Where you may have followed your emotions, you may have followed deep sexual attraction when you've been involved with someone, but was it the wise decision? Maybe not. I mean, obviously we learn from each experience, so it's not necessarily the wrong choice, it's just it wasn't a choice that worked out long term. Could have been worse for some of you if you opened up in the past, whether it is relationship related, romantically, or with friends, family, whoever, or opened up about what you want. Yeah, something about that didn't go very well, and you ended up kind of shutting yourself off from others and just keeping everything to yourself. Let's continue to look at the Death card. To be honest, again, it's that same energy of making the right choice, the best choice. So the Knight of Wands, if you looked at the Knight of Wands as one choice and the Ten of Pentacles as another choice, the Knight of Wands, it is an adventurer, but it can be the more risky, unreliable, sometimes frivolous kind of choice, whereas the Ten of Pentacles is looked at as the more stable, long-term, secure choice. But then who knows which one will make you happy? I mean, what is the intention? Do you want to be happy, or are you just more concerned about what the risk factor is of something? Because sometimes you take a risk and it pays off, don't you? So there's no guarantee that just because something seems to be stable and secure, that it can't still end, because there are no guarantees. As I always say, there are no guarantees in life. Right, I'll leave that there because I don't think I'm going to get much more out of that. And we're going to look at your current energy and see what comes up for that. So overall, I would say that past energy is just overall just general concerns about making the right choice, the wrong choice, the risks, stability, security, those sort of things. And what's your, like, how do you, like, what do you use to make decisions? Do you use your head? Do you use your heart? Do you use logic? Do you combine all of those things together? You know, what's your reference point? But let's look at the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. Do you follow your passions, or do you have to strongly debate whether it's seems like the right choice or not? Got the Two of Pentacles there. So that, again, for me, that's weighing up values. It can be weighing up options as well, or opportunities, should I say. And we all know as well, we don't all know, but the Five of Swords can be connected to self-sabotage and connected with the Knight of Pentacles as well. Yeah, that energy is coming up strong, actually. The one thing, and I think I've probably already said it, if not in a direct way, in a roundabout way, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, it's just, I think I've already said, it's just being overly logical. The Knight of Pentacles is very methodical, very much about following the rules. And then, as I say, that with that Five of Swords there, that can sabotage us sometimes. If we sort of deny what we really want, what our needs are, how we're feeling, we are sabotaging ourselves. So you've got the Two of Pentacles there. I said weighing up opportunities or values even. And with the Fool in reverse, that suggests really not wanting to take a risk. Big time. Not wanting to take any risks. What else is coming out here? And it's strange to see this in Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius energy is the Knight of Wands, actually. I think it is. But it might just be in a specific situation where it feels like, I don't know, for whatever reason, it just feels like is it questions around if it's worth it or not, if it's worth opening up and being vulnerable. I think with Sagittarius energy, do we say Sag wears their heart on their sleeve? I don't know if you'd say Sagittarius energy wears their heart on their sleeve. They'll tell it as it is and they'll follow their passions, but maybe emotionally, there can be a bit of emotional bypassing where, yeah, I think there can be a bit of emotional bypassing sometimes with Sagittarius energy. So like it's fine to follow the passions, but to get really intimate, yeah, that might be an issue there, because it's free. Sagittarius energy is free-spirited, isn't it? There's a not wanting to be tied down. It doesn't mean Sagittarius is incapable of feeling and that, but when we're talking about like the what do you call it, the lower vibrations of Sagittarius, that's where there's like intimacy can be scary. So let's see what else comes out here. Right, we have the Knight of Cups there, and we have again, I was just talking about emotions. Oh my Lord, okay. So it feels like someone not wanting to risk their emotions, to be honest. It does feel like that in any, and I don't know what as I say, relationship stuff does appear to be coming up here. So it could be about a relationship, romantic, it could be any other type of relationship or situation, but there seems to be a fear or concerns around risking one's emotions and wanting to kind of not be taken advantage of with that Five of Swords as well, is another thing that comes to mind. Not to be defeated. You want to kind of be practical, and yeah, that comes to mind. Is it worth clarifying anything else? I don't know if it is. I'll look at the Two of Pentacles just out of curiosity, but so we've got the Six of Wands. That to me suggests like fear of losing in a situation, or concerns around whether it will be successful, whether you will be happy or not. But there is a thing about fear of losing with that comes up. And what do we have here? We have the Nine of Pentacles. See, independence. That's another thing of independence. Somebody might be fear losing their independence as well. Especially if there's a romantic situation. I know that can be an issue. I admit that I'm someone that fears losing my independence in relationships as well. I don't want to be controlled. I've got a big thing about no one controls me. So yeah, there is a thing, like emotionally I'm all right, but yeah, I just don't want to be controlled or sort of be what's the word, I can't remember the exact way to describe it, but sort of be consumed by the relationship and not have my own identity or whatever anymore, or my own sense of freedom. Yeah, it's a conflict. It's a conflict. So yeah, for some, if there is a relationship involved, there is the fear of losing independence, of if it will be emotional fulfilling, if it will be restrictive, if it will be successful, and fear of around emotions. Let's look at your potential future energy with the Justice card. I almost feel like I should look at one of these, but I don't know if it's worth it, because what else can I gain from it? No, we'll leave it. We'll look at the Justice card, because it'll just get confusing if I keep on clarifying unnecessarily. And remember, with the Justice card, I said at the beginning, it's in this particular message, it feels more about what's fair for everybody, as opposed to just the viewer, because usually it's just about what's fair for the viewer, or more important, what's fair for the viewer. I mean, your sense of justice is important, but there's just something distinctive here about it being fair for everyone involved. So Justice, what do we need to know about this as a future energy? I'm going to say it feels more like a heads up. I feel like it's less of an exact prediction, and more of a heads up of what you need to prepare for if you want a specific outcome. Right, so I will take these, although I have no idea which order they are in now, because they're falling all over the place. So we've got the Empress and the Hermit, and I don't know what fell out first. I'm gonna put the Ace of Pentacles there, the Empress there, the Hermit there. So I would say, for things to be fair for all, especially in relationships, again, I would say that need to be vulnerable. To be honest, that need to be vulnerable in terms of your needs, your sense of passion, what you want, emotional intimacy as well, although there's not an emotion here. But the Empress, she's very nurturing and open, isn't she? Let's have a look at that Hermit card, because that seems like a wild card. There may be something here in terms of commitment for somebody actually in a relationship. If there's an issue coming up about commitment, somebody could potentially be a bit reluctant about that. They might be resistant to commitment, possibly, whether it is you or someone else. Six of Swords. Okay, I think I know what this means. Let's get one more after that Six of Wands. Tower. Ten of Swords. And Temperance. So there's a few messages coming up with the Hermit. One of them is about maturity. So in terms of like emotional maturity, yeah, mainly emotional maturity is coming to mind here with the Hermit. There's a need for that, to get what you want, that's fair for you and others, especially in relationships, but it could be any situation. There's a need to be emotionally mature. The thing that I'm seeing here with the Six of Swords, the Moon, and that Six of Wands, it's like, if you were someone that feared getting hurt in a relationship, it's almost like when you start to feel insecure, whether it's because someone wants commitment or you're not sure how they feel, or for whatever reason you start to feel insecure, it's sort of going off on your own and sort of running away from the relationship to kind of isolate yourself and not share how you feel, not even knowing 100% what's going on with the other person, because you feel like it just can't work, and you kind of want to feel like a winner is what's coming to mind here. It's like you want to feel like you've won, and if there's any sort of doubt or insecurity, it's like, God, it's going to fail, so I need to go off somewhere else where I can be successful. So like fears of things falling apart. But again, with that Temperance card as well, there's a need to sort of, it doesn't mean stay in a shitty situation by any means at all. But if, again, relationship wise in particular, if you were in a situation with someone where you start to the fears start to kick in, it's sort of gaining that emotional balance and using that emotional maturity to balance your own emotions and to connect with the other person and work on things together as well. That intimacy, that level of intimacy, talking about how you feel, talking about what you really want, being honest, being very honest and being very nurturing and open-minded with it. And hopefully that's both ways as well. Let's see what that Knight of Pentacles is about. I mean, that for me, the Five of Wands, it's just a warning about how you handle the conflicts, really. Right, we've got the Two of Cups, Knight of Wands. Let's get one more after that Knight of Wands. One more after that. It feels like a willingness to commit to how you to your emotions, like, oh, how do I even put that? Like, once you know you have a feeling for something, that you love something, that you want to stick by, again, as an example, relationship-wise, and again, not saying that you need to stick in a shitty situation, but being willing to do the work and commit and persevere with it and not sort of run away at the first hurdle. If you want long-term fulfillment and for things to be fair for all, it's sort of being willing to commit to that. Let's have a quick look at the Ace of Pentacles. As I say, just rather than running away at the first hurdle or the first challenge. And again, if it's not a relationship, it's just anything that you love and feel that passion and desire for. Not sort of running away as soon as it gets tough, or you sort of have to open up emotionally in any way, shape or form. I think the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles might be about being honest with your intentions as well. So your needs, your needs and your intentions. This is a lot of cards, actually. God, that's so many cards. And I would say as well, especially in relationships, if you have fears about commitment, once you get to that, if you get to that stage with someone where that is a possibility, not being afraid to sort of tell them. I mean, obviously, as I keep repeating, there's never going to be a guarantee that you'll be with someone who's genuine, that will understand you. You do the best you can, don't you? Basically, you get in a relationship, it's a risk. You get to know each other, time will tell. That's all you can really say, is that time will tell. But you got to open up. And the thing is, I always say that, see, this to me, those are fears of possibly fears of commitment, whether it is a relationship or not. I always sort of say that the sooner you are sort of honest about what you want and what you feel, and you make your intentions clear and you stand by those intentions as well, as in not putting up with any bullshit, the quicker the bullshit leaves. So like one way I'd put it is, like if you went on a first date with someone, it's not that you have to marry the first person that you have a date with if you were putting yourself out there dating. But if you know that you are somebody, you know what you want long term, like if you just want sex, then be honest about it. Don't sort of breadcrumb someone and mess them about, because that's not fair to them. If you're someone that wants something long term, that eventually you do want to settle down and get married, don't bullshit either. Don't sort of go on the date and go along with whatever the person wants. I mean, you can if you want to, but just sort of saying, if you want to get something that honors you, it's about being honest. And if questions come up about what you're hoping for long term, it's like, be honest and say, yes, actually, I'm dating with purpose. I'm hoping to meet the person that I'll marry. It may not be you, but I'm here to get to know you, see what the potential is, find out what your intentions are. If you I mean, obviously people can change, things can change. People have sometimes been known to sort of mess around and then they end up marrying each other, but it's just a waste of time. Sometimes it can be a waste of time, can't it? Letting things drag out and not making your intentions clear about what you really want. So yeah, I think, is that everything that I need to say? So yeah, the key point of this message is being willing to open up and be vulnerable about what you desire, what your intentions are, what your needs are, how you feel, not being afraid, and respecting that in yourself and in others as well. So, right. Let's get you a final message. God, this is a lot of clarifiers, isn't it? Final message from the Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck. Okay. final message from the Witch's Wisdom Oracle deck for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. So we have memories. I'm going to get you one more as well. I would say, first thing I would say about this memories card, if you do, the past came up, didn't it? Something about the past. If you do have memories of where vulnerability, you feel it has let you down in the past, it's kind of one thing is getting past that, isn't it? So we've got Rosemary, memories. Can I have one more card of advice for I Live Peace? Okay. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. Right. Let's have a look at this. So we'll do something like that. So let's read that Rosemary card first of all. I just have to feel like saying how if you are, or you know someone who always has a tough exterior, how peaceful is that? Because I don't know, because I don't have a tough exterior for the most part, but it feels like, it seems like it would be stressful to always have to be on the defensive. So yeah, that's just a question I thought I'd bring up. It feels like it would be, it's like always being on edge. Like, can you imagine? Like, imagine as someone who's like a martial art person, and you know, and they do the defensive stance and whatever. Can you imagine, like, I know it's kind of metaphorical, but imagine being in that stance all of the time, always being on guard, always having to look around you, looking over your shoulder, wondering if somebody's going to do something to you. That's got to be stressful. It's like always being on edge. So as I say, in terms of the vulnerability and stuff, again, there's no guarantees, and you still have to have discernment with it as well. But you know, will that help you to get some peace if you're able to feel free to express freely your emotions, your passions, your desires, your needs, etc. Even if this is only relating to one specific situation. But anyway, let's look at this Rosemary message. So Sagittarius, I just had I've had a strange glitch on your video. I recorded the whole thing, and then when I went to play back, there was some really weird stuff going on with the audio and the video cut out. So it's just to finish off these oracle card messages. I'll just read these to you. So the Rosemary card says, echoes of your distant past sound all around you when you find me growing nearby. Remembering those special moments remind you of who you have been and how far you have come. Messages from long ago evoke sweet recollections that play out as visions in your imagination and embrace your heart with warm feelings of memorable love. However, old memories that haunt your dreams and invade your thoughts remind you of the darker times you'd rather forget. Hold me in meditation or spend time with me in the kitchen, for my purification properties will dislodge the heavy and unpleasant energies that have been hanging around of late. Use the cleansing smoke of my dried leaves or add a strong infusion to the bath to banish toxic vibes, for I am a powerful energetic purifier. The magic of how you once felt will return as you transcend forward into your destiny. So I was thinking that with this message, I think the darker memories might be a bigger issue in terms of where you didn't feel safe to be vulnerable. If you do have any memories of where you felt safe being vulnerable, then, you know, I'd say hold on to those and allow those to help you move forward as well. So let's move on to the olive message. So the olive message says, as you extend a symbolic olive branch towards an enemy in goodwill, I will ensure the peaceful outcome of your desire. Going easy on yourself at this time releases your expectations of others and the control of outcomes. As a symbol of peace, my companions, tranquility and harmony accompany me into your kitchen to remind you that it is a time to be still, to listen to the wisdom of the witch within. Hang an olive branch above the threshold to ensure your home is a sanctuary for you and guests alike. My health benefits have been honoured for centuries, for I'm known to boost the immune system, fight against disease, and even revive dry and lifeless hair back to a glossy mane. Use me as a base when blending oils for your magical potions or for anointing in ritual and ceremony, and you yourself shall be blessed with the peace your soul craves at this time. So I think the point I made with this card in terms of peace is, again, it's that respecting of vulnerability, and in yourself and in others as well. I can't remember what I originally said about this because the recording is messed up, but yeah. So I think I also said, feel free, I mean, as I expect you will do, if you feel that any of the herbs mentioned or the ingredients mentioned in these cards will be useful, like if you want to use rosemary or olive or anything as the book suggests, then, you know, feel free to do that. I was thinking that I'm going to use this deck more often because I haven't used it that often, to remind me. I did study aromatherapy, but it reminds me of stuff as well. But anyway, just to point out, I mean, as usual, feel free to like, share, comment on the video. If you ever want to share something that you don't want to be in the comment section and made public, you want to share it privately, you are always welcome to email me. My email address is in the description box. I don't really know how to DM on YouTube and other channels, to be frank, so yeah, but the email address is there. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and if you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. But thank you very much for watching and take care.